One thing you talked about last night that stuck with me is free throw percentages are really nice, but how do you do when it's crunch time? Donovan Newby, game on the line, hits two big ones. He was 8 of 8 at the stripe.
He was, and they were 24 of 29 as a team. They did not shoot the ball well from 3, 4 for 22, 33 points to 0 off the bench. Depth. The fifth game for Delaware, and they were just tired. All right, they were just tired, and at the end of the day, you got to take your hat off to Takeo Sittle's been there twice, didn't get it done. He was a higher seed playing against a team that probably everybody was cheering for because it's that time of year to cheer for underdogs, and they got it done. Valiant effort by Martin Inglesby and his group, though.
Just an electric game. What an atmosphere. That's what March Madness and Championship Week is all about. Delaware played their hearts out. I mean, Isaiah Pasha was awesome. I mean, that kid's got no holes in his game, handles the ball tremendously. We saw the turnovers that UNCW was able to force last night, causing 12 steals. He only had 1 turnover, 7 assists, 8 boards, 21 points, just orchestrated the offense perfectly. I thought there were 2 key plays. Niels Lane was outstanding all game, led was second in scoring with 20 points. Yeah. But he had a couple layups that he just missed with about 4 or 5 minutes left to go. I'd love to have those back. He played great, made his free throws too, but that was quite an effort to hang in there with as good a team as UNCW.
You know, Brent, I love digging deep throughout the year and trying to find players off the radar, much like Snoop White, 12 years ago for LaSalle. Donovan Newby is going to be a name to monitor entering the NCAA tournament next week because whoever faces UNC Wilmington is going to have this guy at the top of the scattering report. He has the look of a player that could take over a first-round game. Chris, you lost a lot of sleep as an assistant coach when you were working for Jay Wright and Steve Lapis. If you saw Newby on the other side in the first round, that's the player that would keep a lot of assistant coaches up at night.
It's just really, really hard when you get that close. Sometimes you feel like, man, I just wish we would have lost in the first round, right? Because it's the same feeling. You're going home, right? But they have something to build on. They're actually going to a new conference, right? And so Martin Inglesby has something to build on with his program for next year. He's got a dynamic point guard in Pasha. So it's just a matter of just continuing to grow as a program, but losing in this fashion, getting so close, but yet so far away. And it's just really tough.
It's really hard. The only thing you can do is just appreciate your teammates, appreciate the effort that you put up. They put up a valiant effort. If it wasn't for a few plays here or there, that game could have gone either way, and they can really hold their hats on that. UNCW, a great team. You see the culmination and the emotion when you pull that off. It is an accomplishment that you will remember forever. It's some of the biggest accomplishments of these kids' lives, and to be the coach of and to organize the team like that, there's nothing better than to organize young men and to accomplish making the NCAA tournament.
And when you win a championship this early in championship week or bracket week, you have this honeymoon period between now and when you see your name called on Sunday night on CBS, where you're going to be doing all sorts of interviews. You're going to be with your friends. You're going to be with your teammates and your family. That's part of winning early in the week before Selection Sunday. Only in 1 month, and Wally knows this is March.
Okay. So he's got 4 more.
And it's fun going to class, believe me. When you go to class the next day, you're walking around campus.
What about if you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated during that week as well?
That helps. That's kind of fun.
He still has it right there.
Oh, I'm sure, right under the desk. By the way, an allotment of 5 the rest of the show for John.
You already used 1.
Yeah, okay.
What about the rest of the month? I mean, there's only 20 days left.
They got it done. Whole serve, the higher seed. The Blue Hens, valiant effort, as we said, but they go home.
Yeah, Pasha was amazing. Wally documented it. 21, 8 boards, 7 assists, but Newby just too much. Ross and Montgomery we've talked about as well. Pushing this thing forward for a moment here, John. What type of seeding do you expect, and can this team win a game in the NCAA tournament?
I think it's a long shot, but I think there's an opportunity because of how well, obviously, their guard play is, how well they make shots down the stretch, made free throws tonight, which is something which is a major positive, and also big-time resiliency. Charleston had this team down late in the game yesterday, and also Delaware pushed this team. And I've said it before, Wal. Nobody roots for Goliath.
No, that's true.
There's no allotment on that.
And they have some size. Obiaha and McGriff, you need size to compete with some of those bigger conferences and bigger schools that you're going to be matched up against the higher seeds. And when you have a guy that can organize and take care of the ball like Newby can, that's very important. You can't get overwhelmed by defensive pressure in the NCAA tournament. You have to be able to run offense, not turn the ball over, and get good shots and have quality possessions, and I think this team can do it.
Got to make more threes in the NCAA tournament than it did tonight to pull an upset. Threes, veteran guard play, low turnovers, make your free throws. That's the anatomy of an upset.
Can you give us quickly an idea of a seed for this team?
You know, I think they'll be in a 13-14 range.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so get a 4 seed or a 3 seed on the other side. Chris?
Listen, you know, for me at UNCW, it comes down to this. When you play in a tournament, you're talking about the SEC getting 13 teams, the Big Ten getting maybe 9 or 10 in Big 12. Here's how it works. They're playing against a champion. This team is a champion. I can't call it the tournament of champions because everyone's not a champion, right? There's a lot of at-large teams. So you start getting to the 10th team in some of these leagues, it may not be as good as a team that had to go through what UNCW had to go through to win a championship. And that's what's tricky about the NCAA tournament. When you're picking it, you're not picking the 6th team in that league. Obviously, there can be some upsets. You're picking a team that's a champion, and you could definitely lose. Peacocks, Early Dick, you could lose if you're playing against a good team.
Well, these Seahawks are 27-7 heading in to the NCAA tournament.